Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with Stephen, and maybe some other people might join in as well, but we're not sure. I did invite Big B McFly, the comic guy, to join us as well. Um, I'm actually going to ask you a kind of an interesting question. I actually kind of we had very disjointed conversations all weekend, believe it or not. Like there was times where like I was like, I just called you, and then somebody else comes in the room, or I had to like hang up on you, and you called me, and I was on like I was
Yeah,
at
it
the
was very
home
hurtful.
show.
It was very hurtful. You
I
kept
just kept on hanging up on you.
you kept kicking me out.
Yeah, but what I was wanting to ask you, and this has been driving me nuts all weekend. Actually, I drove my family nuts. My wife hates me now because of this question
I'm
that I'm going to
sorry.
ask you. So I'm going
Okay.
to make you hate me too. So it's like this question that kind of is driving me nuts. So I've
Okay.
been watching the Heritage auction,
hmm
okay?
hmm
And the Heritage auction has an Action 1 on it,
Yes.
which is an 8.5 pedigree copy, and it's going to go well over 5 million. Well over 5 million. I think it's probably going to be closer to 7, maybe
Well, it
8
was
million.
4.6, and that was a few days ago.
Yeah, no, it's over 5 million now. So my
Wow.
point is, it's going to go way over 5 million. Then next to it, next auction item is Action Comics number 1, 8.5, purple label. It's at $150,000.
Something's radically wrong.
So my question, and I'm almost feeling like I have to pool a bunch of people together, is why don't we just buy the bloody thing, remove the restoration, and then resubmit it? Because a point 0.5 grade goes for about $500,000. So that's my question. Is that like, does that make sense? Like, does it even make sense that this 8.5 restored copy is going to go for half, easily half as much as a point 0.5 will go for? So that's kind of my thought.
Well, I think you should go for it. You said we. What do you mean we? What you mean we,
Me,
paleface?
you, me, 20 other people, like get a bunch of people to sort of pool resources together and buy this comic
Hmm. Well, when is the auction over?
over in 11 days.
11 days. All right. Well, let's see where it is in at about 9 days and see where
So
we are. Because
so what
if
I
it takes off, if it takes off and is like becomes an inordinately
yeah, so here's the thing with it. So okay, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate against myself.
well,
Okay?
what is the restoration?
Well, that's what I'm getting into. I'm playing the devil's advocate against myself. So
Okay,
the restoration is similar to your Batman 1. Pieces added, tear seals, small amount of color touch, plus cleaned. Now that's the hardest part. The cleaning could basically make it unrestorable. I don't know how that works, but
you can't get a blue label if it's been cleaned.
yes. So
I mean,
that's the
that's I
issue.
can tell you right now, you're not going to get the blue label.
Yeah. So my thought is like this book is not a Frankenstein book. When they say pieces added, really usually what it means is like some piece has fallen off of the book itself. Like it's not like some other book has been added. That's one of those misnomers that happens. So my thought is like, does it make any sense that such a high grade will go for less than a like some beat up copy that's barely a comic?
Well, I no, it doesn't. I think that your logic is inescapable. It will continue to have a purple label, whether the other restoration is gone or not. What is the level of restoration, A, B, or C?
So it's an old label.
All right, so
So
it doesn't have that
it doesn't have that. The old style was slight, moderate, and extreme. Was
and
that
how
was and
is it
it's
light?
moderate. It's
It's
considered
moderate.
moderate.
Okay.
Moderate because
Well,
cover cleaning is it automatically goes right into moderate. Just so
right,
you know, like because it's the whole thing, right? Um,
right.
so yeah, so I don't know how much color touch. I don't know how much pieces added and all tear seals and
It's
all that.
not trimmed.
No, not trimmed.
Okay, the first order of business would be to get the grader's notes to find out exactly what it is we're dealing with, Alan.
So
And then I would wait until, first of all, I'm not against the idea. What is, but I have
the
two
bid
questions.
the bid is at 150,000 right now.
Um, the question I have is, I have a couple questions. The first question is this.
Hmm.
Um, let's say that we achieve the book. All right. I would say that if it's an A, is it an it would be an A3, B3, or C3. That would actually have
Um,
a bearing on it.
I believe, based on like looking at the photos and stuff like that, it would be an A2.
A2.
Yeah,
Well, okay, if that's the case, that's not bad at all. Professional and two is, well, I have a three, A3 on mine, and mine's
yeah,
modern.
yeah. So A2, A3 max would be A3.
Okay. Well, that's not an onerous level of restoration, but I think but number two, you have to get the grader's notes,
Well,
and
they
also,
actually put the grader's notes on the book, like on the listing for the book.
all right, well then, if you could read the listing, that would be swell. It's just to find out what we got.
I wish I had another computer I could read it, but I don't
Okay, but
have.
the other thing, okay, but the other thing then is this. My second question is this.
Mhm,
Let us say that we get the book, okay, and whatever machinations we have.
mhm.
Is the basis of getting it to then resubmit it and sell it for profit, or what is the basis of getting this book?
Well,
Are you going to buy all the rest of us out eventually? I mean, what are you proposing
that
to do?
well, maybe that's another thought I had, but so there's a couple thoughts. One, it is a book that I'd love to have in my collection. That's one thought.
Mhm.
It's going to be 200,000, which is insane. So my family would probably disown me if I bought something that was it was that expensive. Um, so yeah, so um, I'm thinking more on the flip side, the
Well,
flipping of it.
if an 8.5 out of Heritage gets it to a certain level,
Well,
and
that's the
we are
problem
not
right there.
and we are going to then turn around and then try to sell it again, I don't know how long, then the money would be tied up in this book for however long. I think the first, before I can speak. First of all, I'm not I won't say no out of hand.
Mhm,
But what I will say is this: Action Comics #1 is not a book that I aspire to in any way. I aspire to a
mhm.
Batman one, and that's where I planted my flag. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
for me
yeah.
personally,
That's
and if I
your Braille book. Yeah.
well, and if I were to go for another Grail book, it would not be Detective 27. It would be Detective 31.
Oh yes, that's a good choice.
Would be my next, because that cover to me, it just sings to me. So if I was going to put that kind of coin towards a book, the book that I would be putting it towards would be a Detective 31.
Yeah. So because just to quickly backtrack a little bit, because it says covered cleaned. Usually when they clean the cover back in the old days, it means that they and the reason that it was was detectable was they would use like some kind of vinegar bath or some kind of thing that would be detectable. If it's that case, which could be the case, that there's like a chemical smell to the book, then it's definitely one that you can't remove by doing some weird magic to it. Um, but the question becomes, can we change the opinions of collectors to make them actually appreciate restored books enough to say, hey, a 8.5 restored should be at least more valuable than a point 0.5 blue label.
Well, then the I understand the argument that you're making is, I understand thoroughly and
So it's
completely.
a long-term play at that point.
Uh, what is long term?
Well, I say 2, 3 years.
Well, uh, I am not liquid enough to invest.
Well, I'm thinking like get 20, 30 people involved, small amounts each. And see it
Well,
like, as
I
like
think
a
I think that that's laudable. I think that it's, the more people that are involved in the transaction, the more difficult the transaction is going to be. not because we're inherently bad people, but you have a lot of people who have differing ideas
of what
as
they
far
want
as
to do
what
with
is
it.
supposed to happen and how long the money has to be out. And they
Hmm.
say, "Hey, I need my money. I have something. I had a death in the family. I had a car crash. I got to get my money out. I can't hold it as long as I wanted to, etc." So the people that are going to come in, if they come in, would have to be able to hold. We would have to hold for a while. But the idea that we would be able to flip that book in anything short of a few years would not be reasonable based upon what's going on. If Heritage figures out what the market is on that book right now,
Hmm.
then that's the benchmark has been set for that book, at least for now, and to turn right around and sell it again relatively soon, and we basically get shot in the pants. I
That's
think
true.
the other thing, the way I look at it is this, Alan.
Hmm.
After 8 or 9 days or 10 days, if there are 11 days to go, of course, a lot of times the all the action doesn't happen until the end, and then the if when it goes on the floor, and then the people start bidding it. How far apart from the
I wouldn't necessarily say that that is the case, K Munin. So one of the arguments for why it was restored is that maybe the book would have fallen apart. Generally, that's not the case. It's sort of
if
like
it's
what
an
we
eight
talk.
five, I would find that hard to believe it would
I
that
would
it would
find
be
it very
falling
hard to
apart
believe.
if it's an eight
So,
five.
so generally, what would happen is back in the day, if you had a action one, you had a Batman one, you had some big book, you would get it professionally restored. And I have a feeling that that's what the case is with this book. It's not that it was a rag, and just needed to be put back together. No, that's not the case. It's a case that they just wanted to make it look as presentable as possible in the past.
Here's
And
I understand completely.
mm,
I but the other thing I'm thinking is, if the book's got, there has to be an upper limit as far as what uh, 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 requirement or what kind of uh, output you're looking for, and
mhm,
what amount are you going to put in? What amount am I going to put in? What amount are other people going to have to put in, and then
mhm,
try to get the thing together. The
mhm.
other thing is this: if we do get the book, then we would have to determine where we would want to go to have the thing cracked out and then gone over, and then we would resubmit it, and that would be an expensive, very expensive proposition. I can tell you right now
Yeah.
and then that way, then we would have a brand new case on it.
Mhm.
We would have the correct modern designation after whatever
Whatever
magic
was
is
been
done by
removed.
Jerry
Yeah.
the Jitterbug or whoever it is going to do the job, the comic
Mhm.
pressers or whoever is going to do the job. That could
Mhm.
do the best job, Phantom Restorations or what Sanderson's or whatever. Probably
Mhm.
Sanderson's got the best name, I think, at least as far as I'm concerned, at least from what I can tell. I've seen what he does and then to get into Sanderson and have him lay hands on the action one, then resubmit it, and then again, of course, he would have a fee for that. So all of the partners would have to absorb the cost of having this done, and there would have to be a general manager who would run the deal, and that would be you, Alan, because you're the instigator of
Yeah.
who would be the person that does the restoration. I'm leaning more towards Sanderson
Mhm.
because of that sort of thing, and he has a very good reputation. I'm not saying that Jerry the Jitterbug doesn't, but
No.
I'm saying that Sanderson, I think, is the one that I hear the most of. I don't think the
Mhm.
comic presser does that as much of that sort of stuff as
Well,
Sanderson
this is a yeah, this is a big deal. So, here's some of my thoughts on it. One is this is like 8.5, and let's say we remove the restoration, and it becomes an incomplete book. But, you have to remove so much of the book. Well, that's the worst case scenario. That it's
How could it be an
0.5.
8.5 if there's that much that has to be removed?
Well, no, because cover cleaned. So you got to remove something, just to make it, you know. Um, so the point
Sounds
is,
very dicey. It sounds very dicey for the amount of money that's involved, Alan. And I don't know. I don't have enough information. I need more clay for. I need more mud for bricks.
mhm,
I think that the graders' notes that are there from Heritage, as far as what they have, I would like to take a look at those and see
sure,
what's
sure.
involved. But if this book skies up to 300,000 or 400,000, I can't swing that.
Oh yeah, me either. So yeah, I'm not asking, just so you know, I'm not asking you for even a penny on this. Like, that's not my point. I'm more asking for your advice on this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's my advice. The
yeah, yeah.
advice I have is the first thing that we need to do is to establish what it is we've got. And then if and then since we can't have it sent out to Sanderson and have him lay hands on it and be cogent as far as what actually what it is we actually have. It's a roll of the dice. We're
Hmm.
rolling the dice on a book that and why the price on this is so low. What do these people know about this book that we don't
We
know?
don't.
The
That
people
could be
that
another thing. Yeah,
are
that's.
who what because if these guys that are, I mean, you might check with Yaniv and see if he knows
Well,
anything.
I actually checked past auction records for restored books, and the most a restored book has ever gone for is 200,000, and within the last few years even. So it's just, what I think it is
If the
there's a
most it's gone
level
for is two,
of,
if the most it's gone for in the last few years ever is 200,000,
yeah,
and we are in the book 200,000, we're going to be sitting on this with a very low rate of return for the amount of
exactly.
investment we are
I
in.
get that. So I totally get that, and I think the reason there is such
Disparity.
disparity is the fact that there is a snobbery associated to purple labels, and it's even like, even like when we first started talking about it, I really had to change your mind and change your opinion. And you're at this, you're at a fairly high level, in terms of the books that you buy. But there's people that are way above us, like somewhere
Yeah.
in the clouds, and
Mhm.
their level of snobbery, where they can
Is
justify.
commensurately higher.
Yes.
Yeah, in other
And those
words,
are the
it
people with the $5 million that they can spend on Action One.
well, Doc is another person that would be someone
That's what I was
who
thinking. I can think of Yaniv, myself, you, Ryan, maybe, and a few. Like, I can think of a whole bunch of people that we could pool together and create this kind of, you know.
well, if you can pull this off, it would be an amazing thing. I don't know what the exposure would be and how much exposure people would want to engage in.
Hmm.
There's time for it. I will leave the door open, but I have to say that I'm guardedly skeptical about it for the reasons that I've said. I'm not going to
Hmm.
say them again, but
Yeah, yeah.
for those reasons, because I am a comic collector and I'm crazy like the rest of us are.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I am a businessman, and my head will overrule my heart. But like I said, if I'm going to put my money at risk, I'm going to put it at risk for a book that I really want, rather than a
Sure,
book that
I
is
get
a
that.
potential for investment. So that's really kind of where I am, unless there is some wonderful revelation that comes up prior to this, and we go from there. And of course, if you guys go ahead and I back out, or if I'm not involved,
Well, that's
and
fine. That's fine.
you guys make a fortune, why, I'll have egg on my face and I'll say you were right, and you'll be able to say that to me for as long as I live.
Now, here's one last idea that I had about this book. One last thing, and then we get into other stuff. We'll get into other stuff. I just torturing you just for a little bit more.
It's not a torture. It's a your point is very well taken, and it's something
But
I am considering. I just need more clay for bricks.
okay, here's the last idea, and this is something that we talked about with Batman One.
Hmm.
That there was a situation where, CGC mentioned, hey, some of these books are restored, and they still gave them a blue label. They lowered the grade, but they gave them a blue label.
Yes.
What if they would, like, what if you said, hey, CGC, I'm submitting this 8.5 restored book. I want a blue label. What grade would you give me?
Now, what they did was they did that for a short period of time, and then they stopped doing it because I believe there was blowback from people who found that one person I know in particular was very distraught that he had a blue label. Then he found that there was glue on the spine and color touch.
Mm-hmm.
Glue on the spine and color touch is restoration. There's no
Of
other way
course.
you can.
Yeah.
There's no other way you can look at it. Now, I don't believe that they actually do that anymore, although they do it for pulps. If you would be in
Yeah.
conversations with I guess that what you should do is contact your good friend Matt Nelson,
Yeah, well,
and
he's not
ask
my friend.
and
He's
ask
more
and
your
ask
friend than my
him
friend.
and ask him what he thinks about what would the potential be with a blue label with considerations.
That's my
Uh,
point.
and well, I don't know.
So let's say they grade it down to a 2. Then it's a $2 million book.
Well, uh, again,
Kind of crazy.
I don't know. What is the census on Action One again? 150, 120,
No, no, it's way lower than that. It's
78?
yeah, it's like 70 something. And half of them are restored, half of I think it's like 44 restored, 30 some odd blue label.
The idea of let me just check this right now because I can do this. I'll just split my screen here.
Yes, golden age. um I think they mark glue on the spine if it doesn't reinforce the book. Yeah, with glue on the spine, it counts as restoration because generally what'll happen is it will like that's a form of like tear seal or sometimes what'll happen is the cover will actually adhere to the book, which is another kind of a no-no.
I will look at restored.
So yeah, so I think it's like
Okay,
44.
okay. Now they're showing that an 8.5 restored sold on 9/20/22 for $350,750.
All right. So
350 750. My guess would be that this would probably come close to 350. And if all things being equal from 22, my guess is it's going to be pushing well over 400,000. And that's too rich for my blood. I can tell you right
oh
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm just this is a hypothetical,
I'm,
but it's
I'm not,
something
I'm
it's
not
something
trying.
that drives me nuts. It's sort of like when I bought my Phantom Lady, right?
Mhm.
It drove me nuts that if it was like on it, the staples are cleaned. That's it. That's the restoration. And it drives me nuts that it gets a purple label, makes it worth like a fraction, like about a tenth of the value.
You're singing to the choir. I have another sale for you. I have a 6.5 that was sold on November 21st, 2021. And the 6.5 sold for $300,000.
Sorry,
I
six
don't know
five.
where you're getting. I don't know where you're getting your $200,000
No,
number.
no. Look at the point five one.
Well, the point
Oh,
five. I
point
don't.
5 blue
No,
label.
no. Listen. We're talking.
You're only
We're talking
looking at the
about
restored.
restored. We're talking about the restored
I,
market.
I I saw it going like there was I maybe I mis looked at the listing, but I thought it was around like I know that the current price is around 150,000, but
Well,
um
what I'm telling you is an 8.5. All things being equal, with an 8.5,
you're
which
expecting maybe closer to
sold in
400,000.
2022 for 350 over almost $351,000.
Hmm. So
So
yeah,
with that in
probably
mind,
go over 4
I
then.
would say this will go for 4, and again, that just puts me out. I'm not interested at that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
well, yeah.
semi-interested at 200, but I think it'll go at least 3 and probably closer to 4. That's
Hmm.
my conjecture.
Okay, I mean that's all fair.
Okay, that's fair. Are you channeling Bleecker?
That's fair. No, no, no.
That's fair. That's
That's
fair.
fair. No, it's like it is what it is.
That's fair.
So
Is what it is.
but it's sort of like it's a big pet peeve, and to see it at this magnitude is what has been driving me nuts all
Well,
weekend.
$400,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm not saying I don't have $400,000. I have
Well,
maybe
I don't either.
$100.
Well,
I
I
only need to do that 1,000 times more, and I'll have the money. Um,
I'm not trying to throw I'm not trying to throw cold water. I'm just trying to speak,
oh, even Bleecker said low. That's fair.
Another country heard from. Very
Hmm.
good, Bleak, very good. So, Alan, there is my, my considered
Your
opinion.
analysis.
My considered opinion is it's gonna
I
sell
know.
for between
That's why I asked
350
you
and
the
4.
question. I asked
Okay,
you the question because I appreciate your opinion. If I
okay.
didn't think your opinion mattered, I
You wouldn't ask.
wouldn't have asked. Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah. So your opinion,
Boy,
yeah.
I sure the books I'm gonna show now, I feel like a real hamburger. I don't have
So
anything going.
I have a surprise unboxing. I just went ahead and bought it anyways.
Oh,
Oh,
congratulations.
but I put it on your tab. Is that okay?
That's perfectly okay. That's
Okay, yeah.
perfectly okay. No problem
Okay.
at all.
Okay, cool.
Good thing I shared that password with you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
O
how about we show some books before people
okay.
like think we're crazy?
Well,
Okay,
no,
so
too late on that one.
okay. So I'll make you big. Are you ready to show the books?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I recently made a purchase from what you know what that is, 'cause you know. If you don't know, if you know what it is, you know what it is. God, I hate
Yeah.
that
I
expression.
hate
I don't
that
know.
too.
I said, I don't know what it is. What is it? Well, you don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Okay, next question. But I went to my comic shop and various and assorted, and episodically, what I will do is I will look at the new listings, pre 1950 and 1950. Those are the two. Because if I'm in the 60s, then it's all Marvel and DC, mostly Marvels, and I'm just not that in.
People like your new backdrop.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's a dirty Zerty
Hmm.
signed. Um, but uh, uh, but the thing about it was, if I find one that I can just pick off on a new listing for either a buy it now that's reasonable, and most always for the most part they generally are, or if it's a make offer or what have you, then I'll go like that way. And then some other times, what I will do, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But this is the first one I got, and this was a just off the right off the listing, and it appears to be a brand new slab. Yeah, it is Pioneer West Romances #3. What does that mean? It means fire hair. It's by Fiction House, and it's from the spring of 1950. And it is a 6.5 with off-white pages, which is remarkable for a Fiction House. And it only says spring of 1950, but there is a grease pen mark that is from February 7th, 1950. And here it is.
Very nice. And who's the artist?
And the artist is it says Bob Webb and David David Hames art. It doesn't indicate who did the cover, who did it, who did it. Um, it might be Mr. Hearns. The guy that's holding the gun would break his wrist if he ever discharged the firearm with his hand in that
A weird position.
limp wristed way. But I think that the colors and the brightness of this cover, and it was not an expensive, a couple $100 or something like that for a book like this. I mean, I didn't check the census, but it's got to be way up at the top.
Yeah. What grade? I can't. I never can see the
Six
grade.
five,
6.5. Very nice.
6.5 off white. So that's that one. So then the other thing that I do, what I will do, is I will pick a title, or I will pick a publisher. More so, I will pick a publisher. And in this instance, I picked a publisher. I picked Harvey because Harvey covers an awful lot of territory prior to the code, and with horror and all manner of other things, superheroes and things like that, in books that will go really high. And one of the ones that I've always looked at, that I've always enjoyed, that I've
Oh, what
always seen.
number was that, by the way?
Oh, what number? It's #3.
#3.
Sorry, here. Let me just see here. It's Pioneer West Romances. What a screwy title. Pioneer
Well, they
Romances.
kept on changing the title, actually.
Yeah. Pioneer West Romances #3, Fiction House, spring 1950, 6.5 off white pages.
I believe that's Pioneer Western Romances #1, actually. So
The
it went
three
from
is the number
Fire.
three. No, the #3 is the #1.
Yeah, I think it went from Fire Hair for the first 2 issues, then it went to Pioneer Western Romances.
You
And
would think that
then,
Fire Hair would be, and then of course they have Fire Hair emblazoned on the cover.
mhm.
I'm not a marketing guy.
Yeah, it's
Now, Alan, you say that I watched your interview of yourself, and I thought that the interviewer was really too easy on you on the interview. I thought the interviewer
I thought he was
gave
brutal.
such softball answers. I mean, my God, man.
It is brutal,
You
brutal
said
interview.
you kept saying SEO, 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 like we all know what SEO is or whatever it is you say. What is SEO?
SEO is search engine optimization. That's my forte.
Okay.
And
See, now, do you assume that people understand what that is? I didn't know.
well, it means getting websites ranked on
I
Google.
understand now what it, but I just didn't understand what the acronym was for. Thank you.
Okay. All right. But yeah.
So back we're back in the trenches with Harvey, and so then you hit in stock because then you don't have to, then all it does is it shows you the titles where they have books, and then you
Hmm.
scan through and you see what they have available, and if it's something that's interesting or whatever. And one of the titles that I've always enjoyed looking at is
The questions were too easy. Why? Well, everyone,
see Lyle, see
no,
yeah, see Lyle,
nobody
you saw
likes
it
me.
too.
Nobody
Yeah,
likes me.
I
It's
said, I
so
said,
sad.
boy, I
Okay.
hope that interviewer asks tough questions. No, it's all says, how did you feel about it at that time? What color shirt did you wear?
Two
Um,
scoops of ice cream. Yeah. So yeah.
what's your favorite flavor? But I decided to go after Black Cat. And amazingly, they had several. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I bought seven at one shot, and it was not horribly expensive, and the books are very nice and very presentable. Here is Black Cat number 3, December, January, and it is from 1946.
Very beautiful. I always like the red covers. Like, I find that she really pops on them.
And you've got these screwy guys down below, and it's a Lee Elias cover. Lee Elias, who did a lot of really good horror covers, but he also is I think, a very gifted artist. But that's that. That's the first one. That's number 3. Here is this one's really thick for some reason. They've double boarded it. This is number 10, which probably 1940. Let's see, March of 47.
That's
Isn't
really
that fun?
nice. Yeah, that's a really great one. I really like Black Cat. I think it's an awesome title.
The darling of comics. Now here she goes. Here it says Hollywood's glamorous detective star. That's her. She has the darlings of comics since 1941.
Oh wow.
I have some all new comics that are Harvey that have her along with Captain Freedom and uh, 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 Seymour. Anyway, but this one is also still the darling Hollywood's glamorous crime fighter. She's still Hollywood's glamorous crime fighter here. And the guy with the white hair looks sort of like Simon Stagg with Metamorpho, I thought. But Linda Turner is quite attractive.
Oh yeah, I really like her.
Is Linda? I would assume Linda Turner is the Black Cat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's who Black Cat is.
Here is now here with issue number 17, and I don't know at what point it shifted. Maybe Alan can tell you, but it turns into, instead of it being Black Cat, it turns into Black Cat Western,
Yes.
and now
Yes.
it's Hollywood's glamorous Western star, and this is from May. Probably, I don't know, probably 48, I guess. But here she is. I like it. She's riding a bucking bronco. Linda Turner rides again. Black Cat and Death Valley Western.
Yeah, I don't know why they went to Western titles. I guess Westerns were really hot at that time.
Well, I think they were doing a lot of stuff post-war. I think they were trying it, but it's Western in name. But you see that Lee Elias, his signature is very prominent there at the bottom. But isn't that a fun cover?
Oh
These
yeah.
are all very nice, healthy books. I don't know if it was all from the same fellow who collected them, or if they just accumulated them as they went, and it just was the luck of whatever the nets captured. And all of these are like 4s and 5s for the most part.
Yeah, which is a very solid grade for the era.
And for my comic shop, who will grade down, undergrade, makes it so that they're very healthy. They're nice, healthy books.
Mm.
Um, Here we have Black Cat, the new Black Cat, and she's not in the Westerns anymore. She's Exclusive illustrated interview with Joan Evans. I don't know who Joan Evans is. I know a lot of the old actresses and what have you. I don't know who Joan Evans is. Linda Turner is the Black Cat. That she's back to being a movie star, and this is the new Black Cat comics with
Mhm.
number 22. And this is the one that Alan likes because she's putting a judo hold on this gal in the red dress that's got the bag of swag.
And it looks like Wacky Gatami. It's the name of the move.
Isn't that Linda Turner's cousin, Wacky Pataki?
Wacky Gatami. Gatami.
Wacky Katami.
Mm.
Tommy and her brother Tommy Katami.
Yeah.
It says a whole bunch of stuff going on here. It says, "Drop the gun, Countess. I know all about your fake charity." And she's smiling as she's just basically twisting her arm out of the socket. Again, it is signed by Lee Elias. The guy says, "Quick, Joe, she's discovered our plans. Plus, special exclusive features Dream Man Gregory Peck and the case of mistaken identity."
Wow.
And then we have Linda Turner, the secret adventures of a motion picture star who is the Black Cat. We have the serial queen, the invisible Scarlett O'Neill. Did you know that Scarlett O'Neill is in this?
Yes, I did actually.
No, you didn't. And it says,
I
"What
did
would you
actually.
do? What would you do if you could be invisible?" Will you ask any boy that question, and they will immediately have an answer for you. They'll make themselves invisible and go to church, and then go to the library and read books.
Because
Okay,
yeah, we're all good
all right,
boys. Okay, wait,
and
wait.
then
I don't want you to show too much. Wait, stop. You're gonna
um,
show some big book. Yeah, I know you have a really big book. Did it come? The big one?
no,
Oh,
not as yet.
oh. Oh,
No, I won't. The big the I have a couple
no,
big.
that's Friday. You said it's gonna come, right?
I think that book's going to be coming Friday, and another
No,
one
but I
maybe.
mean, but the other one, the high grade black cat.
That is in the wind right now towards me
Oh, okay,
because I
okay.
just ordered it. It's Monday, and I bought it on the weekend, and
Mhm.
then it will be coming. But I promise it'll probably be next Monday. I'll have it, and then
Okay.
I can do both of those next Monday. I
Okay. I was gonna show a couple quick books.
Go ahead. Well, let me just show this one a little bit longer before I show
Okay,
those
you
other
want to show that one a bit more? Okay.
before because I'm talking too much, and then there's Hollywood down here at the bottom, down here Hollywood, and it says the laugh o minute mishaps of a dizzy blonde starlet. It's a Harvey Comics hit.
Wow.
But it's just the colors on this, and she's beautiful up at the top of the celluloid on the corner.
And I always liked her costume too. It's a great
Oh, very
costume.
much.
Hmm.
The 8 league boots or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, rock on.
Okay, so I'm gonna show some of my related books to what you showed. Actually, I found my Fire Hair collection, and
Oh, you did. Good for you.
I found some of my Black Cat Connect collection, which, well, actually, I just found one book from
Well, that's
collection.
some.
It's some. It's not none. Um, so yeah, I'm only going to show four books,
Okay.
and but then we'll do another round back to you, and then we'll go.
And then I also have I have pulled a box Golden Age slabs. I have a
Oh
short
wow,
box of Golden Age slabs to share.
wow, see, awesomeness. Okay, so I'm going to show two books from my Black Cat collection. Actually, one is not a black cat, but it is a black cat. It is Pocket Comics #1, and this is the first appearance of the Black Cat.
Who
So
drew the black cat in that? Do you know?
I have no idea. No idea. Not a clue. But it's really cool the way the way this dude is drawn. Is kind of reminds me of somebody else's way. The one, remember the one for what is it? Is it Captain America where it's like the red cover and the red skull? Do you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
Kind of has that, the way his hands are done. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Well, it could be Simon and Kirby because that's one way. It could be Al Avison and it could be Sid Shores. It could be
Yeah, it could be a whole
any
bunch
of
of
the
people.
three of those guys.
Yeah, it
No,
could be
I don't.
one of
It
those.
wouldn't be Schomburg though. I don't
No,
believe
it's
that
not
Schomburg
Schomburg. It
didn't
does
have
not
that
look
way.
like Schomburg. It doesn't
But
look like
def
Schomburg,
but
no.
but Simon and Kirby were all about having misshapen, features, because what
Mhm.
Simon and Kirby did was they made all of them, because Captain America is a monster title, literally, it's a
Mhm.
horror book, and you have the beautiful, clean, Captain
Oh,
America,
piece
pristine
fell.
Aryan, and then all of the other ones are misshapen. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just noticed a piece fell off. Just like,
Oh, no.
yeah, it goes right over that way, somewhere over there. Yeah,
On the spine, probably.
yeah.
I'm
Oh
sorry,
well.
right up underneath where it says where the P of pocket.
I knew that it was a bit rough. This book it's in like it's probably like a 1/8. It's a pretty low grade. Um, and the other black hat that I have handy is this one.
Nice. That's beautiful.
This is like the only bondage cover for her. Like I mean for her. I mean there's other bondage covers and you know the one. But this is her bondage cover and she's being burned at the stake by a witch, which
That's
is
a
like
beauty.
I
That
think
is
somebody
really
got the directions wrong and they put the wrong person on the burning thing. But but he got the black cat being burned by a witch,
a
and
question,
then
who is in blue coming to rescue
I
her?
I was just gonna look at that up. I'm not sure who it looks like a boy almost, or I don't know, not sure who is the boy. There's always somebody that kind of works with the black cat. Oh, what's the guy's name? There's another person that kind of works with her. And so she gets sometimes captured or something bad happens to her, but then somebody else comes and helps her out. I forgot who that is. Just trying to remember the character's name.
I love the cover. I think that's the cover content on that is first rate.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that kind of goes a little bit crazy in terms of price because it is one of the more desired covers because it is
I can see why.
yeah, it's a fun one. Um and then I figured I should show some of my fire hairs. So I have Fire Hair Comics #1, and mine's a 6.0. So not a bad grade.
And what is the date of that? I mean, what is the date on that book?
1948, winter 1948, and it's the
Well, see, not spring 1950. So your conjecture about
they
what number,
changed the title.
and that's number one. And then I wonder if it was quarterly. I bet you it was quarterly, and then number two, and then came this one, I think.
Probably. And then so this is the origin of Fire Hair, and it's a Rob Lubers, right?
Bob
Lubers,
Lubers.
yeah. Oh, sorry, Bob. Sorry, I just vision.
That's all right.
Bob Lubers cover and art, and John Star art inside. I'm not sure who
Yeah,
John Star is.
if you look at the legs, that's the tell, because Lubers is a big leg
Yeah,
man. Not
yeah.
so much the chesty toppy guy, although he gives you something, but he always has the skirts flipping up where you can
And lots of leg, yeah,
and
lots
a
of
lot of leg.
story. Yeah,
That's his forte.
yeah. So this is his cover, and then you get your title, the same title as you had, this Pioneer Western Romances.
And that's number four.
This is #6,
Number six.
and
This
this
is
is from winter of 1950, and this is a Maurice Whitman cover.
uh winter of 1950. Does it give the I wonder what the interval is. Do you know, and what they put the date right on her fanny. I'm here to tell
Yeah,
you
she
that
battles 2 bears in this. It's all she can bear.
oh, oh,
Had to do the joke. Okay,
okay.
so
Well, that's a
so
spectacular fanny cover, I have to say.
oh
That's
yes,
beautiful.
yeah. It looks like he's going to get her in the end, though.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, just a really cool one. I like Fire Hair actually. So
Well, she's got a great story.
yeah, yeah.
She's the wagon train and everyone's killed by the desperados, and then she
Hmm.
gets taken in, and then she becomes the best Indian of all of them, and then she becomes the lead person, and she's tougher and stronger, longer, and better shot, and better
Yeah,
everything than anybody on that. And she's a natural born leader, etc.
and well, so the actual interesting thing was in the original, they actually redid her story when DC got her as a character. In her original story, it was a rival tribe that was the one that had sort of she was a pioneer, in a the pioneer
Covered
trail
wagon.
thing. Yeah,
Covered
the
wagon.
wagon thing, cover wagon thing,
Wagon train.
and wagon train. That's the word I was looking for. And it was a rival. It was a like a bad Indian tribe that basically went and terrorized them and killed everybody, left her. And then a good native tribe found her and then trained her, and she became great. In the later version, when DC took it over, she became a boy, first of all, which it's just interesting. And then it was actually a group of bandits, like white bandits, that dressed up as a as
That's
a
what happened in the first part. That's how the first one went. They
no
dressed
no
up as
no
Indians. Yeah, they dressed
no
up
it
as
was a
Indians.
rival gang. I thought rival tribe.
No, no, no. It was the story is that the Indians were bent. No, the Indians were bent out of shape because the reason the robbers dressed up as Indians to
Mhm.
rob and kill and pillage with the wagon train was so that the blame would fall on the Indians, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cavalry would go
I thought
after
that was
the troops. That's the
I thought
first
that was in the
first.
DC
That's
version.
the
I
first.
read both, and
Yeah,
they're
it
they're
must be
blending in
both.
my mind maybe.
It's the same.
Okay, so
Trust
okay,
me.
so they just changed her gender. That's it,
Okay, gender swap.
gender swap. So that was it.
Okay.
But
Different.
interesting story.
It is a good story, but the thing that makes Firehair more interesting as a female
Mhm.
is that it is a very strong. She's a very strong protagonist
Yep.
as a female star, and it's not. It is. She's still very lovely, and she's still
Mhm.
a very good looking gal, but she is tough as nails. It's like this is the thing, like with Miss Fury. Marla
Mhm.
Drake, who is Miss Fury, is tough as nails. She's a debutante,
Mhm.
but she's got a spine of steel, and she's brave as hell. She doesn't get scared. She's trying to solve the problem, and it's a very positive. It isn't like she's worried and wringing her hands or something. She's
Mhm.
fixing, how can I figure out how to do it? Then she dons the magic suit, and off she goes. Miss Fury is truly a wonderful. The canon of her story is
I,
outstanding.
I feel like Firehair has kind of got that how like back in the day during the Wild West era, you had these sort of pioneer women who were kind of the tough as nails. They learned to shoot and spit as well as any man. I feel like she's kind of got a little bit of that in her nature as well. That oh,
Acknowledge the chat, Alan.
I'll acknowledge the chat. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, I'm the worst host ever. See, this is why we have Big B. He's really good at engaging the chat. Okay, is that a tattoo on her butt? No, it is not. That is a date stamp, or not date stamp, but written date on her butt. So it's not a tattoo. And what else? Um, Interesting position on the branch, exercising her right to bear arms, right to arm bears. Yeah, that's cute. Kicking the kick the bear, and she could not beat Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear was actually a pretty funny movie. I actually enjoyed it. Um, and yeah, Miss Fury covers are great. I actually have a couple Miss Furies in my collection. Um, and I believe Stephen, you have like how many of the Miss Furies do you have? Do you have the
I,
full
I
line?
have I have the complete series.
Yeah.
I have the complete series. I'm looking
Mm.
for. I have a few fire hairs myself, but there is. Oh, there it is. I wanted to show it since we're doing that. I just need to dig it out.
What are you gonna dig out?
Fire hair.
All right.
I had
Okay.
just
So while you're digging that out, I'll show some random books. One sec here. I gotta
there's
find a
no
pack.
such thing.
Okay. So these are. One sec. I gotta find something that's worthy of showing here. Okay, so I'm going to show some random books. This is random books while Stephen is searching for his books.
Well,
So
give up. I'm not going to mess with it.
I found this one, which is a really cool, another empowered woman. She's like whacking I think German, I think he's German, yeah, German Nazi, with her camera, and it's camera comics, and it's just like the stories of.
without looking at the cover, what is the name of the gal?
Okay, wait, I can sort of reflect it and see. Oh, something Linda Lenz. Yeah, that's what it
Linda
is.
Lenz. What a great name.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. Good play on the name. Um, but inside it's like photo. It's like it's actually photos inside. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the insides of these books, but it's like photos. It's like it's just like here. I'll show it. I'm actually gonna open up a book. I never like this one's in low grade, so I don't really care. It's like a
Whoa,
two.
you're so careful.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm going to do any more damage to it. Is my point.
I know what I did. I put the other fiction houses with my other fiction houses, which live in a different spot, and that's
Okay.
where they went. So that's what I did.
Okay, so I'm just gonna show you. So this is the book, and on the back, actually, there's an ad for Kodak, so that's kind of appropriate. And so it's like a mixture of like comics, and then you get these kind of like photos as well. And what else is there? It's like it has like a whole bunch of like photo journals, and it shows like photographers in the Pacific Rim. And just a whole bunch of weird stuff, actually. Like this is pretty weird.
Well,
Not sure.
they're puppets that with Clark Gable and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's Marilyn Monroe or if it's
But it
someone else.
basically gives you the story of all the like the military press corps, right? So yeah, and then they would actually have cartoons as well, like comics, I should say. So it's a pretty cool book, actually. It's quite thick too. It's like lots of pages. I think it's like
40,
60. It's
42?
either 42 or 64 pages.
No, 1942.
Oh, 42. Good question. 1944.
Okay.
And you got some more Nazis getting punched right there.
Very good.
Yeah. It's always nice to punch a Nazi. Okay. so, okay, so I'll
Check your chat.
okay, okay. Thank you, Daddy. I'll check my dad. Okay, sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I should be a better host, okay? Okay, so lol, wow, weird combo. Cool. See? I checked my chat.
Wow.
Thank you.
What friendliness, what warmth.
What warmth? You get
call you Mr. Warm.
you only get the best. You only get the best on my channel.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm a terrible host. Okay, I apologize to all the people that are in the chat that are chatting away, and I failed to recognize you. You guys are awesome. I love you guys all, all except maybe one or two of you. No, just checking. No, I really enjoy the chat.
You were doing good there for just a second. It was all right.
I'm not really good at this, like, being nice thing. It's not in my nature. It's like, so yeah, so we really need to focus and enjoy Linda Lenz. Yes, we do.
Shall I show the rest of my black cats?
Yes, you should.
And then I can crack into this box of Golden Age slab.
I was like just waiting for you, basically. Okay.
Thank you for waiting.
Mhm.
This is has an exclusive illustrated interview with Van Johnson.
Oh wow.
And this is the new Black Cat. Complete in this issue 4 thrilling, wonderful Black Cat stories: Island of Peril, Black Cat's Secret, Murder at Malibu, and Fire in the Orphanage. And that's the story behind the cover, and it's another signed Lee Elias cover. Fire in the Orphanage.
Oh, that's really nice. That's another comic trope where you get the orphans being saved from some building. You know what I mean? Like,
and the big red sign on the side that says orphanage, or maybe it's Orpheum Theater. I don't know.
Yeah, Oprah.
No, it's
Um,
ORP. So it could be Orpheum, or my guess is they have a giant sign that says orphanage. What a wonderful thing!
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you'd never know.
You never
Um,
know. That was number 26. Here comes issue number 28, and this is can the Black Cat outwit the Phantom Buccaneer and avenge
okay.
the innocent victims of an age-old curse? Read The Crimson Raider, introducing Black Cat's new ally, and that's you were wondering
Oh, who the
who
guy
that guy
is?
was that was running
Yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah.
What would a young cat be called?
Ah, kitten, something kitten.
But if it's a kitten, would be a female. What would the boy be called? Kit.
Uh, Kit. Yeah, that makes
Kit.
sense. Yeah.
Fearless boy sensation.
Ah, okay, Kit. Now we know who the boy is.
And this is another signed Lee Elias cover. He appears to be a rather large person with has her around the waist.
Yeah, he looks like a pirate.
That's he's the Crimson Buccaneer, isn't he?
Crimson,
The
well, I
Crimson
guess so.
Raider.
Crimson Raider. Nice.
Yeah. No, the Phantom Buccaneer. He's the Phantom
Oh,
Buccaneer.
Phantom Buccaneer. Okay.
Yeah, the Phantom Buccaneer. He's got the pirate ship. You
This
got
is
the
the best Black Cat cover shown yet. Really?
fair enough,
I
man.
I liked my one.
And I did get one. I did get one slab, and this is Black Cat number 19, and this is from September of 1949. And so the number 19, so that gives me where it is, 49, off white to white. And this is another Black Cat Western, but it's a beauty, and it's a 5.0.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
In this issue, Golden Guns, Hollywood's glamorous Western star, Black Cat Western.
Mm.
That's great. I think it's a great cover.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's the horse is leaping. Has almost that kind of Wonder Woman vibe.
Very much so.
You know.
Except she's jumping in, going into a trench on her horse,
Yeah, yeah, sort of similar idea.
like a World War One trench kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's so. Those are all of the. What does it say? Lee Elias cover and art. Yeah, and that's it. And this is off white to white pages.
Lyle just put a bid on that Action Comics one.
Good for you.
Good for you, Lyle.
And this is Judah Mann's ad again, where the sand is being kicked in Charles Atlas's face, and then he basically takes the brute bully out, and he lives happily ever after. And then his wife beats him up. The one that I liked was you.
I think he's joking. Actually, you know what I was thinking? I was debating about
Put
seeing it.
a couple of bids because you know you'll be outbid. Say, I bid on that book.
Yeah, well, I was gonna bid on it when it was like $1, like, and say, oh, I put it. I was trying to win it, but just happened to got outbid
It
at the last minute.
just got by me. I was in it
Just
for $50 and it went away.
it just went away. So yeah.
I I have I will. Would you like me to start to show some of the books?
It's up to you.
All right. Well, I'll show some.
Hey, Comic Mag Musings.
Here is.
Do you know his channel?
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. His channel. I really enjoy his channel. So,
This is a cover by Frank Frollo. He's the son of Old Man Frollo, and he works for Charlton. And this is Space Adventures number 2.
Oh yes, this is a good one. Oh,
I think it's a fun. I mean, I'd never seen this cover before, and I got it. You know where?
Yeah, yeah.
And she is in a red dress and with her legs, and so the air is getting underneath her skirt, or the lack of air is getting under her skirt.
Yeah.
And the monster has his red claws digging into her thigh, and she is there passed out, and basically showing that she's a girl. and the guy is there in his very protective suit.
I don't think it was it that price. This one wasn't that pricey, was it? You got
I,
it for a
I
good
I don't
price.
think they had it priced correctly. It was not a terribly expensive book,
Hmm.
thankfully. I find all the expensive ones too. But this one I found wasn't wasn't as expensive. And on the
Hmm.
back, we have an ad for the electric spot reducer. And then you basically lie down, and then you take this machine and you plug it into the wall, and then you stick it on whatever portion of your body you want to have go away, and you turn the thing on, and it's like an orbital sander.
Very cool. I mean, that's the best way to do it, right?
It's the way it was intended. We're we're staying
They're
with.
asking if we can show our Torchy Bill Ward collection.
I have
That
a
would,
Torchy. I do have a Torchy coming up here. I have a
oh, cool,
Canadian.
cool.
I have
Hi,
hi
big
Epoch.
book.
I have a Torchy. I have a Torchy #5 coming up, and it's a Canadian copy.
Oh yeah, it's a test tube shaped space helmet.
Very much. It isn't quite the globe. It isn't the fishbowl,
Yeah, it's
but
the test. Yeah.
it is the cylindrical. And he's got a crash helmet on underneath, with the air hoses and all this other stuff, protective gloves, protective pants, protective boots, and he's and a ray blaster, and she's lying there pretty much sort of hanging out on the planet Nimrod or whatever, and the planet Nimod or whatever.
Hmm.
I like the pink, the pink and blue and black is just the color, and the purple craters, purple craters. Now I could go somewhere, and I
Don't say
can't
it.
go there. But anyway, it's just I had never seen that cover, and I just thought it was really cool.
So we got another
Hi,
person.
baby.
Hey,
Hey.
Aloha,
So we
oi.
needed you. We needed you. I
We
was
have
like,
our moderator now.
speaking of
I'm
the
such
planet Nimrod.
yeah, I'm such a bad host. I was like ignoring the chat. The chat was crying, and I was like, you
Oh,
know,
they're like, where's Big
Well,
B?
I'll tell you what it
yeah.
was. Bleecker got a hold of Susan and said, "Go downstairs and tell him to acknowledge the chat."
Oh
And
no.
so Susan's taking Champ out for a walk, and she says, "Tell Alan to acknowledge the chat."
Because
Oh
I'm such a
no.
bad host.
And Alan
I'm
says,
sorry. I'm so
Alan says,
sorry.
"I heard that." And then he goes, "Hello, chat." Okay, next thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
Here we
So
go. I'm a
we
going.
had okay. Steve's
We're
going.
still in space. We were in space, but here's another one that I had never seen before. That it just was just a really wild
You know,
cover.
the color palette kind of similar to the other one, like
It is, and
style.
they are both Charlton.
Yeah. And is it the same artist, both?
I don't know. Is this Frank Frollo? No, Stan Campbell did this one.
Okay. What?
Stan
Maybe.
Campbell.
Maybe. Okay.
And this was on the newsstands June 10th, 1953. Either June 18th. June 18th, 1953. And it's stamped on the back cover, which is so nice that they didn't stamp it
Ruin
on
the front.
like on the Fire Hare's Fanny, which I think that just is so
Yeah, it's so
it's
annoying.
so disrespectful of the book and of the people buying it. I would anyway, but
Mm.
this is it. Spurs Jackson and his space vigilantes, and the story inside is where Hitler actually got away and he's in space, and then
Oh
he
wow.
tries to take over this planet, and so it's Hitler and Nazis are trying to take stuff over.
That's pretty cool.
With this side.
did you guys answer the
Yes.
question why were Charlton comics printed so poorly?
They were Charlton did all of their own stuff. They had their own writers, they had their own artists, they had their own printing. They distributed the books themselves. Charlton did everything, and that's why they had those. They'd have ads on the cover, and they'd have ads on the splash page, and all that stuff. They called all the shots on that. And I don't know. There are Charlton books, and there are Charlton books, and I think this is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. It's a beautiful book.
Here is a real classic DC #1 book. And this is from October of 1941, which this would have probably been out sometime in August or September of 41, preparatory or as the Japanese were basically getting themselves ready to come and flatten Pearl Harbor and try to take us out of the war completely in one fell swoop. And this is Star Spangled Comics #1. And this is the first full appearance and the first cover appearances of the Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy,
Mm-hmm.
and a
Very
really cool classic robot cover in a 6.0.
That robot's getting it right in the breadbasket.
Mm-hmm.
And Hal Sherman is the artist, and the writer is Siegel.
So this is interesting. Maybe I don't know if this is true, but sounds interesting. Charlton printed on comics on a press designed for cereal boxes.
Well, it very well could be. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. It sounds fair to me.
I
Mhm.
had heard that rumor before.
You have or haven't?
I have heard that rumor before.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Here's another book again that came from and was not a terribly expensive book, but it just is one that it just captivated me. And another was not very expensive. It's by an artist named H.C. Kiefer, and it is the company is Farrell, and they actually in the corner they call it America's Best, and this is an early code cover from February of 1958, and it's Strange Journey #3.
Oh, I really like that one. I told you
Cool.
I was trying to pick up a copy of that, and the guy refused my offer.
And this is the Titanic cover, because the Titanic, and this is they give the impression that like she's a siren, that is she's a witch, that it's coming to basically she knows it's coming. She's on the iceberg where the
Oh,
Titanic
that's
is
pretty
going. It's
cool.
pretty amazing cover for a code.
Yeah.
The purple, blue, and green and red and yellow up at the top for the trade dress. And for 58, the stamp is not terribly large. By this time, they've mellowed the stamp out to like a postage stamp size.
It didn't
And
take out part of the logo, right?
well, but America's Best.
They balance it out with the size of the thing on the price.
Yeah, those early ones are crazy where they take out, they cover up part of the logo with some of the.
Yeah, they
code.
wanted to make sure, and the 10-cent price is that tiny. You see where the seal is, the code stamp, that little red dot, that says 10 cents.
Oh wow, that little tiny one. Wow.
That little tiny dot says 10 cents. How much is it, Mom? I can't read it.
Mom, will you buy me this comic? How much is it? You got it.
It's a penny. It's a penny. Oh,
All the other groceries went up.
so? Is that so, Wayne? Thank you. That's good to know.
But the presses were not made.
I think you may
So they
be
said
right.
they printed all kinds of product labels, but the presses were not made for comics.
Fair enough. Well,
Lyle said that they printed on the back comics on the back of cereal boxes as well.
You remember?
Oh,
now,
wow.
are you old enough? Neither one of you are old enough. There was they used to have comics on the back of cereal boxes, and one of them was Twinkle's cereal. Twinkle's was an elephant, and he had his cereal. And okay, never mind. I'm old.
They still print
Twinkle
comics
the
every so often. Every so often they do it.
Twinkle's cereal. Here is one from Superior Comics from Toronto, Canada. And it is from November of 1951. And it is Strange Mysteries #2. Terrifying, startling, and suspense.
Nice. That's
And
a cool
the
cover.
story and the story of this is that these ghoulish looking people are dragging down this gal. There's an old guy that's got a treasure, and there are these two ne'er-do-well relatives that have inherited this house. It's by a swamp, and old man Dixon, or whatever his name is, has this treasure, and they want to find the treasure. So they're mercenaries, and the old man's his cousin or something, Aunt Sarah or something, is this clean, pure, noble, thrifty, reverent, and everything else. And she says, "Oh, I'm very." She says, "I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for you, genuinely." And they said, they said, "Yeah, well, see you later, Aunt Sarah. You've been nice to us our whole lives, but we're going to keep all this and go to hell." And that was the end. So she said, "I love you still," and then she walks off. Well, anyway, they're looking for the treasure, and the guy goes wandering around, and then he sees this. The treasure chest surfaces on the surface of the swamp and then sinks. So he starts to go in to get that, and then these green guys come up and they grab him and they drag him all the way down. And then he's gone. He's dead. His hat's floating on the swamp. And then his sister, who is even more of a mercenary, she says, "Great, now it's all mine. Now I get all the treasure. He's dead. What a shame, but oh well, too bad, too bad." And then so she goes out looking around, and then the same thing happens. The treasure chest surfaces again, and then she wades out, and they drag her down, and she's screaming and hollering and everything, and they're all dragging, and she can't get away, and these misshapen people. And then they get down underneath, and then there's this sort of a cavernous thing, and here's this ghoulish guy, and it's old man Dixon or whatever. He's the main guy, and they said, "Is that you?" He said, "Yes, it's me, and my treasure's with me. All of these people wanted my treasure, and now they're here, and I've killed them all." And they said, "It's just as I'm going to kill you." "No, let us go." "No, I'm not going to. Now Aunt Sarah's going to get everything." And so then the banker guy comes in and says, "Well, they've disappeared, and the police have searched. They're presumed dead. They must have gone into the swamp and died. So now the house is yours, and whatever treasure you find," says, "Oh, I'm just so happy to have the house." And then she walks over, she's walking back, and then the swamp puts the treasure chest and puts it all the way right up onto the shore, filled with treasure. And then she gets the treasure in the house and everything else. And that's the story. It's a good story, but the way they portray the young nephew and the niece, where they're just you want something bad to happen to them.
Yeah, they were mean.
Villains.
So
yes, they did. And they visited them on us innocent people in the United States. Innocent, I tell you, innocent.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk in the chat about Charlton, giving lots of information about Charlton. So they did their own distribution, and the comics.
I said they printed, they printed, they distributed, they did everything. I think it's one of the only houses that did that, to be honest.
Matt's thing about their pay is interesting.
Yeah, one sec here. So Superior Comics also printed EC Comics. What
Bell was the other one. Bell did the Canadian Whites to a large degree.
Yeah, so they started printing comics at night because they could printing comics so that they could do it at night, so they could go around.
That makes good sense. But you know, the Strange Adventures and stuff that have all that Ditko art.
Wow, so much information there.
The pay rates were so low, he had his own pencils, inking, and lettering, so he could collect 3 paychecks, which totaled less than what DC would pay for pencils alone.
And you wonder why Charlton comics weren't as good.
Yeah,
I think that you've answered your own question. The question has been answered. I do like the space adventures with Ditko. They're just Captain Atom. It's great, and the Blue Beetle and the Question.
They had some good stuff.
Great stuff. Here is a character that was designed and created by a guy named Ken Ball. It's Sun Girl #1 from Timely.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, beautiful.
And
the color of her top, it almost looks flesh tone.
It almost does. And on her left wrist, if you notice, looks like a wristwatch. That's her sun ray that she had, and she was an accomplished. She could fight. She could do all this various stuff. She was a good hand-to-hand combatant, etc.
Mm.
And on the back of her belt, she had her moon ray.
And you're a smooth number wearing new nylons, 2-way stretch girdle. $2.98.
We're getting more information about Charlton here. They had a pipeline to Argentina in the 60s for their art. Many Argentine artists also worked on eerie publications and Marion Flass horror comic magazines. So Wow, so
Yeah.
so much
Lots of
information about
history coming out tonight. Sweet.
so many, I guess, many Charlton collectors here.
Letterpress printing. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Here's Sun Girl number 2.
Oh, by the way, that book, made a whole bunch of hot lists this week because it
Which,
had that one.
this one here?
Yep.
And
Because
why? How come?
it had a record sale on Heritage.
Well, it's a beautiful cover. She's lovely.
It looks like she's bored or something. I feel like she's yawning.
No, she's thinking, and you'll notice her right hand has the sun ray. And the joke is everybody's looking at the magazine with pictures of her, and there she is standing right there, and they're not looking at her.
I know. I always felt like she looked a little bit bored though, like as if she's like
Not bored. She looks concerned, Alan.
Okay.
Her eyes are back like. And this is, and then you here you can lose weight.
Lana Lang as
Could be, it could be, or Lana Lang looks like her. I think that Sun Girl preceded her. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this a pill? Magic spot remover. No exercise or diets. Any part of your body. Spot reducer. It sounds like it's some kind of cream. I don't think it works.
Are you sure? I was going to order some.
But it says guaranteed results. Come on.
It doesn't say money back guarantee.
Oh, it doesn't say money back.
Yeah, I've been eating a bunch of pizza and that cream. Okay, here we go. And here is the last in the run of Sun Girl number 3, which is truly a lovely cover.
I thought all 3 were great.
With her hair, I mean,
what do the word balloons say?
Yeah.
The word balloons say the blue balloon is from what she is saying, and I would assume she's thinking, although it's a line rather than bubbles. It says, only by taking the great Zarata's place can I find out how her accident was caused. She's way to hell up in the big top. And you'll notice there's a hand with a knife. I have a feeling she might have found who the trouble is. And it says, you shall find out, Sun Girl, sooner than you think.
But okay, here's a weird question.
How
did the guy get up there with the knife?
Do you see the ladder? He was up there before she started, and when she swung by, he did that because that's everything else is completely true. And if you also look at the wonderful perspective too, you're looking down from the top of the big top, where she's way down, and then they have that weird platform off to the left.
Can Sun Girl fly though?
The geometrics.
Yeah, she flies.
She's a flyer. That's what they call trapeze artists. They call them flyers.
No. She could fly actually as a super.
No, she couldn't. Sun Girl can fly.
I thought she could fly.
Alan, no, Sun Girl can't fly. She's a hand-to-hand combatant.
I know that she's a hand-to-hand, but I thought she was like.
Now, am I right? Who's the one that's shacking up with the Human Torch? I think it's her, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. Sun Girl is with the android Human Torch. I think she was cohabiting with him.
Oh wow! I thought she could fly though.
So Sun Girl powers and abilities: top acrobat, skilled in judo and jujitsu, and employed the sunbeam ray gun, which could produce a bright blast of light. She also appeared to have some level of superhuman speed.
Okay, yeah, I knew that.
She was fast and agile, but she couldn't fly, Alan. You think everybody can fly?
I think everybody can fly. I don't know why.
Can you fly? Can you fly?
Alan can fly. I've seen it.
I can. Didn't you see it? I was just flying yesterday. I don't.
So Epoch wants to know: did Sun Girl ever appear outside of the Golden Age? Did Marvel bring her to anything in the modern stuff?
Alan, did she survive the purge and come back? Did they retcon her in some way? Usually, when they bring them back, they do it just to bump them off.
No, I don't remember her coming back.
I don't think she ever came back. I think she never came back. She never came back. Here is Super Magician.
Everybody has a flight ring. See?
Well, it's not. She doesn't have a flight ring, and she wasn't in the Legion because I looked. I know the Legion because I'm a Legion guy. One of these days, I want to get that yellow. Looks like a bowling pin that's been cut, and has wings on it. Thank you, Louis V. You're absolutely right, Alan.
Should I ban him from the
A
chat?
credit to Louis V. You'll notice on her hand. You see now. This time it's on her left hand.
Yeah, you can see the
Is the little
red,
yellow the wristwatch, but
bracelet.
that is her yellow beam. I have a book coming where she actually uses the yellow beam, which is the only time I've ever seen it. And
on the cover, yep.
Here is Super Magician Comics. This is by Street and Smith Publications, Volume 3, Number 5, which I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but it's from September of 1944. It's a Jack Binder, Jack and Al Bear art and Charles Wessel art, and it's the origin of Mr. Twilight and has a Buffalo Bill story.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think the name of his assistant is Rhoda. And Rhoda is always getting in trouble.
Always in trouble, yeah.
Rhoda always has her stage costume on when the natives or the gorillas or the sharks or the burning pot or the natives that are trying to cook her or whatever. It's always Rhoda's like Tani for JoJo the Congo.
Oh, that's right. Actually, he's right. All New Invaders had her.
Fair enough. At least somebody's doing the research in this show.
And then there is a new Sun Girl who debuted in Superior Spider-Man Team Up #1 and is one of the main characters in the relaunch of the New Warriors.
Oh wow! Okay, so
there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah, so there's a new character.
Alan, you can be a radio technician. You probably already are.
No, I don't. I'm not really good with radios.
I have a rocket ship that I got from that was at the Seattle World's Fair in 1962. And it was a crystal set. And the way those things worked is there's a little plug that came out of the bottom, and it was a crystal that resonated. And all you did was clip it onto something metal. And then you had a little earpiece, and you could tune in one station, which was 62 KGW is the local station. So you could tune it in, no batteries, no nothing. It was just a crystal. And you just plug it onto something metal, and you could listen to 62 KGW. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt had a question for you, Stephen. Who's your favorite Legionnaire?
Yeah, I saw it.
My favorite Legionnaire. That's a good one. It's tough. I would say out of all of it, because of the stories that he had, I'd have to say Lightning Lad, because he had the most going on. He loses his arm and he gets his arm back. And then that one where a bouncing boy loses his bounce ability. And there was all these different problems. And I remember that they were in the super stalag of space and they got all of their powers back. I cried as a kid. They all got their powers back. And I was so happy. I wept. I was so happy that they got their powers back. It was wonderful. I also really
like Satin Girl.
Well, now Legionnaire. I mean, for the girls, I think Dream Girl is pretty awesome. And I have.
Didn't they make her trans?
Shadowlass too. See, it's hard to pick. I like a lot of them. I have a piece of art that Pete Woods did, artist Pete Woods, and it's a huge piece where I asked him to, and I took pictures. I had provided pictures of the Legionnaire gals, and I had him do a poster of all of them: Lightning Lass, Phantom Girl, Dream Girl, Shadow Lass, Saturn Girl, all of these triplicate girls, Shrinking Violet. Yeah, sort of, but it was better.
It's better.
And you know how and I'll tell you how he lost his arm. He lost it when he used the lightning bolt.
The 20th century ancestor of Dream Girl becomes trans, by the way. That's why.
None of that is real. All of that is BS. What is real is what happened in the 60s, and all of the retcon, everything they're doing is not. It's not real. It's not anything. Sorry. But the other thing was that the Super Moby Dick of space, and it was one of the first comics I ever saw. There's a big picture of the Super Moby Dick, and Lightning Lad shoots his lightning beams, and they say, "Don't do it, don't do it." He says, "I have to do it to save the lives of whoever." And Super Moby Dick took the lightning bolt yellow and turned it around green and went right back onto his arm, and it basically blew his arm up, and they had to amputate his arm and put a robot arm on him. So he
Wow.
lost it, just like Captain Ahab lost a leg, or Captain Hook lost a leg to a hand to the crocodile. Then Lightning Lad lost his arm to the super Moby Dick of space. And only one kid in my neighborhood had that book, and he taunted us with it because he was the only guy that had a copy of it. No kidding.
Wow.
Here is Super Magician, Volume 4, Number 5, and then I'll break and let you show some, Alan. Volume 4, Number 5, and this was one of the first Super Magicians I got, and was pretty much one of the most expensive because it has the clan look, it has the clan guy.
Oh yes, yes. That's still one I'm looking for.
This is one, and this particular one is an off-white, has off-white pages. And the artist that does these covers, his name is Charles Cole, C-O-L-L, Charles Cole. Man, that's a good one.
That's a beautiful one.
That's really
and
nice.
And surprisingly, this will surprise you, Rhoda is in trouble again.
What?
Rhoda.
Why is she always having a bad day?
Well, what?
She just Blackstone has to have something. Says why and how the incredible becomes possible. Blackstone, the world's greatest living magician. All the dead magicians are better, but he's the best living one.
Well, there's that.
And here's something for the kids. And I had an experience with an X-Acto knife that was not good. I was working on a slot car and I stabbed my hand. It was terrible. I should have had stitches, but I held my hand in a fist with a paper towel until it knit. And I've got a beautiful scar right there between these two fingers.
Wow.
Where I was working on a Rusket Black Widow all-wheel drive, and I was trying the tires were a bit too big, and I was very carefully not careful enough, cutting around the fender wells to have the wheels clear. And I was pushing because I wanted to make a clean cut, and I sure did. And the clean cut I did was on me. So, yeah, X-Acto knife.
So, I think a while ago, Alan, somebody was asking if you could show some Torchy also.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna grab.
I've got Torchy coming too.
Okay, we got Torchy a coming.
1 sec.
Torchy's a coming. It's coming today.
Hey, I'm wearing that kind of shirt too.
Are you? Did you go shopping?
I am.
Did you go shopping in the same place?
I did.
There was a lot of them there. There was a lot of them.
You should be glad you can't smell through the internet. You can smell campfire from here. I was out doing a burn pile just before I came on.
You was doing a burn pile? Was old Blue
I
there?
think I singed the tops of my eyebrows.
I'll tell you, fire is so it'll kill you.
Yep. I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm doing a burn pile, and I'm burning it over the tops of where these blackberries are that I'm trying to kill.
Very difficult to kill blackberries, that's for sure.
For sure.
Okay, sorry. Don't mind me.
That's all. We're talking about a burn pile.
I don't think people want to look at me any longer.
Okay, so I'm back. I was trying to find my Torchies. I moved.
You don't have one? I have one to show. I'll show it right now.
I have one to show. I have one, but only one.
You got the Periscope one, Steven?
No, I don't. I
have the Periscope one. Okay.
Alan's.
Oh, there you go.
I have the complete collection of Torchy, right? So.
There you go. Well, la-ti-da.
Yeah. So
okay. Let me show you my Torchy. Here it is.
I'll show you some books. Okay. So I'll show you one Torchy. I couldn't find the rest, so they're somewhere. I have to find them. This is the one where this is a Gil Fox cover, and you got all the paintings kind of checking her out because she's such a.
Oh yeah.
Checking her out.
Yeah, this is from 1950.
Ellen, get that Adventure 303 off of you.
Adventure 303.
No, I think he passed on. We were talking about Adventure Comics. Which one was that?
Adventure 303. I'm just trying to think of what Adventure 303 is.
We were looking at, remember those adventures last night?
Oh, that's the one. I think that's the one where it's Batman and Robin, and they're.
Let me take a look real quick.
Their identities are getting exposed on television or something.
Let me take a look.
Okay, so I'm going to show some Super Magician comics because I'm
Oh,
just
I
curious.
like that one. That's cool. That's gold.
So this is actually the very first appearance of Abbott and Costello in comics. So, hey, mention it right there.
Cool.
So a little bit of a bonus with Super Magic Comics.
Oh, it's the first
Super
appearance
Magician.
of 303 is the first appearance of Matter Eater Lad. Nope, you didn't get that one yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. That was one that we talked about, but I didn't get it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is
Matter
another
Eater
one.
Lad.
And what was the girl's name again?
Rhoda.
Rhoda.
Rhoda's looking good in that one.
Yeah, Rhoda is like in her
I
costume,
actually
but she's about to get noosed.
Well, is she like being Svengali'd or something? Like she's just gonna walk into it?
Well, look, so the guys with the turbans,
Well, those
they're
definitely those
putting
are
her
obviously golden age and big red noses too.
they have red noses. If you have a turban, you have to have a red nose and big
Well,
bushy
that's
beard.
because they've been smoking keef.
Yeah, maybe. And then you got him, the super magician with his laser hands, like magic hands.
So Rob in chat, if you guys know anything too, Rob's asking if we know any tidbits about Bill Ward. So
Um,
Take it away, Alan.
Tidbits about Bill Ward. I really don't have much tidbits about Bill Ward. Like, he was a very prolific artist. Started out doing a lot of like romance stuff, but then he actually went into like he made the Torchy character, but I think what really Bill Ward's most associated with is creating cartoons. He basically
gotcha.
would get into a lot of these like men's magazines and into like men's humor magazines, and he would publish like cartoon like one-off little strips, like
And
some sexy
they were
girl
huge.
with
They were one panel gags.
yeah, and that's really what he's mainly known for. Actually, the earlier stuff he's lesser known for.
Wayne says he did a lot of military books, military comics.
Military comics. I'm not
Maybe
familiar with
for
his
the
military.
military? Is that what he's thinking? Like,
Oh, military comics. Yes, the gag books from the military.
mhm.
So yes, that's possibly true. And he also did. If you're familiar with the title "Sex to 60," "Sexty,"
Yeah, yeah,
"Sex to 60," that he did a lot of the interiors, like the interior jokes within those. But
gotcha.
humor. Another title that he was really well known for being involved with was Humorama, which was sort of a mixture of pinups and gags, like little, cartoon gags. Okay, so we sort of showed another character. You actually mentioned her, Stephen, Scarlett O'Neill, the Invisible Girl.
Oh,
Invisible Scarlet O'Neill.
Yeah,
nice. That's a cool cover.
yeah. So this is she made her first appearance in Famous Funnies, not this one, but a different one. And then she had her own title, which only lasted a few issues, which I will show. We got issue number 1.
What
This
year?
one's this one is from good question. But this is actually okay, so this is good question. 1950. Figured it out. And this one's actually from the Promise collection.
Cool. Very cool.
It's just not slabbed. So it's one of those ones where if I ever submitted it, I could get it with the gold label. So that's number 1. We got number 2. And number 3.
Very
Oh, they got
cool.
it from
I like that cover.
yeah, it's
Is there
pretty cool.
one that's a dark blue cover that I think that's her best cover, that one that she's in?
Are you thinking the one where it's like fire and stuff?
I can't remember. There's
I think
one with a beautiful blue cover that she's in.
that sounds like
It's
her first appearance one. That's a cool cover. I don't have it handy. I have it, but I just don't have it handy. And then the other thing that I have is a different Scarlet. This is Starlet O'Hara.
Scarlett O'Hara.
Now there was just one of these that actually made my
Top 10.
my top 10. It's a really great moon cover where she's sitting on a moon.
That's the toughest one.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful cover.
Yeah, really expensive, crazy expensive. About $1,000 book. But you know, I did manage to get this one. I didn't snag the other one. I wish I had, but yeah, this is another one from that same title. And then we got some Alex Schomburg fighting Yank with Miss
This
Mask.
carnivorous brontosaurus, you know.
Yeah, and this has got the trope of the hero just a little bit out of anywhere useful.
He's gonna
He's
throw
so
that
way
rock
back.
just in time.
He's gonna hit it right in the head.
I think he's gonna hit her because
No, she's gonna bend over real quick, and then the rock is gonna hit the brontosaurus right in the head, and everyone will be happy, and then the fighting Yank will get together with Miss Mask, and they will make mascots.
Mascots. Tricorn mascots. Okay, so yeah. So that's that one. And then for some reason, I don't know why, but my Mopsy is mixed in. So we got some Mopsy as well.
There you go.
Gladys Parker.
Gladys Parker, yeah. And I actually like this top, this green one. I always thought that was good.
Yeah, that's the crisscross.
You know, if she had some inking, if she had better inking, I mean, her line work is very nice. I mean, but if she had an inker worth his salt like Feldstein working on those, that would be awesome.
It is a great cover though. Still.
Oh no, I really do. That's one of the best ones actually.
Yeah. So
the first one's really good. The red cover with the phones in each head on each side.
Yeah. They mimicked it for Katie Keene as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I can show you something here.
Okay, I'll make.
Let me show you something.
I can show you something. You'll like it.
Hey.
Here is your Adventure 303 you were talking about.
There it is.
Oh,
first Matter Eater Lad.
Very cool.
Yeah.
These are all, I really liked it. And because I talked about it, I had to show it. Here is the Super Moby Dick of space.
There he is.
Oh, wow.
He's got the robot arm on the cover.
Oh, wow. So that's the thing. That's the creature that ate his arm?
No, that's the creature that bounced the electric bolt out of Lightning Lad's arm and rebounded it back and blew his arm up. And then they had to amputate his arm and then put a robotic arm on him.
Okay. So
it's very Captain Ahab. He says, "I've tracked you across space, you monster. I lost an arm battling you, but now I'll have my revenge." And Superboy, who is always a wimp and always trying to stop everybody from doing anything, he's a marplot, says, "Stop, Lightning Lad. You can't kill it. You know we Legionnaires never take life. What a wuss."
Matt wanted to thank you guys for giving us a great forum to discuss books and to see great books.
It's our pleasure. That's half the fun is being able to share. I will now go back into the golden age. Here is Teenage Temptations. This is number 1. St. John's Publications, Matt Baker cover and art from October of 1952. And this has off-white pages. And he says,
what's the word balloon saying?
And the word balloon says, "Come here, little girl." He says, "I'm not a savage beast and I'm not a fool. I've got your number, so stop pretending you're a sweet, innocent thing." And she's trying to get out of the car with the plaid seat covers.
There you go.
Which is very, very 1950s. And then the other two on the side, one says, "I'd watched other girls make pickups on street corners, so I tried, but I wasn't very lucky." And then the other one is, "My limelight trail ended in court. And even worse, the story was in all the papers."
Oh, no.
This one here. Number 1. It's a number 1. Teenage Temptations. I was trapped in a tourist camp. And in my Instagram post. That is the story that I showed, and it's really seamy. Where this guy takes her to a trailer court, and he's going to have his way. It's really sordid. Hence, it's very fun. I'm getting to that Torchy number 5. I'm on the way. I'm in the tease, and I'm teasing, and I'm teasing you. Here is Tell It to the Marines number 2, Toby Press from May of 1952. Spike and Bat Meet the Cobra Woman.
The Cobra.
She's a bad cat.
She's just casually pointing that right at his groin.
And they look, oh, gee whiz. Says, bring a friend, she says. How'd I know that was going to turn out to be a cobra? Cobra. Oh, Cobra. Yeah, Cobra. Cobretti. Come on, Cobretti. If you know, you know. Don't you hate that? If you know, you know. What do you know? I don't know. Who knew?
I don't know, but if I knew, I'd know.
If I knew, I wouldn't tell you. Here's Thunder number 1, which was one of my winners in my challenge against Judah Man.
I don't even know why people recognize that book over the one I showed.
It was presentation. Look at this gal in the front.
That gal, she's got a great look there.
Lord Almighty, what was Frazetta thinking? I know what he was thinking.
She looks fierce.
And look at the native. Look at how he drew the native. I mean, my God.
Lyle is asking Stephen, do you have any family members who are interested in comics?
I beg your pardon?
Lyle was asking do you have any family members that are interested in comics, Stephen?
My brother liked comics, but he didn't collect them. My sister never did. My youngest brother, I did my best to get my younger brother. I tried to suck him into the vortex of comics. I tried to suck my son John into the vortex of comics. So they appreciate them, but I'm the only one I'm really the only real collector. Gotcha. Alan says that his family, they say he's the collector in the family. I am very definitely the collector in my family.
Gotcha.
Here is the Torchy as advertised. This is Torchy number 5. And this is the Canadian edition, rare. And it isn't going to Superior Comics. It's going to Bell Comics.
Oh, that's a great cover, too.
And this is actually drawn by Bill Ward.
Nice.
And you can see up there, CDL, up there in the corner, Canadian edition, number 5. Why, how did you even recognize me? Isn't that a honey? And this here in the back, Skin Specialist says, Miracle Skin Cream. Secret formula is a proven beauty prescription for clearer, healthier, and lovelier complexion. Avoid further embarrassment.
Yeah.
Simple directions is just take this here cream and smear it into your face for 5 days, taking time out for meals, of course. You too will notice the difference.
Hilarious.
What happened to Alan? Is he wandering around?
He's trying to find something.
I'm trying to find my Torchies.
Torchies.
And I'm also
how is the chat?
Giant bug. There's a giant bug.
The chat is talking about the collector gene and how it was passed along to them and who passed it along.
You know, and it's a defective gene in the DNA strand. And I think space aliens did that to basically curse us. But I'll tell you this, I'm loaded with it. But it didn't transfer. It didn't carry on. I know that.
I don't know. I don't take this the wrong way, but I did read somewhere where they said collecting is a form of mental illness.
Really?
Yeah, it's the compulsion to collect.
The compulsion to collect.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Which we all have it. So there you go. We're all mentally ill.
I think that the people who don't understand what it's like to collect, they say because they can't understand it, they try to They try to ascribe that it's some sort of a defect. It isn't a defect. It is one of the most exhilarating and frustrating things at the same time because it's such a
It is.
powerful
That's
emotion.
true.
It
That
is
is a beautiful cover. From this distance, that almost so I've been sharing a lot of Frank Cho with you. That almost looks very Frank Cho in the figure.
And the cover on this one was done by you know who, Ken Bald.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Ken Bald cover. Are you nearly finished, Mr. Smith? Oh, no. Keep posing, sigh. The most beautiful girl in the world. And this is Off-White White Pages 6.5. And George Klein did some of the artwork inside. And on the back, it will be interesting. Give these giant junior classics to your kids. That's a different back ad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this Canadian? This is Canadian. That's why. Superior Comics.
So we're talking about Pharaoh Lad in the chat.
I liked Pharaoh Lad a lot, and he died, and I cried when he died. When he took out the
They
Sun
wouldn't
Eater.
they wouldn't let Jim Shooter make him black, so he killed him.
Really?
Yeah, Jim Shooter was going to reveal that Pharaoh Lad was black. He was going to take his helmet off, and it was going to be that his whole planet was black. And DC said, no, you can't do that. So he said, okay, well, I guess I'll just kill him
I
off
don't
then.
like to hear that crap. I really don't.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we never do. I just, where the Validus and the Enchantress and the Persuader or whatever, and the Princess Projectra and all them are running out. What a great story that was. And then he sacrificed, and then the ghost of Pharaoh Lad, where that whole thing going on. It moved me a lot as a kid. I really enjoyed that, and I was emotionally
they were. Shooter
attached.
was great at writing those stories for sure.
I was very attached to the characters. I really was. I still am. It was just when they retcon stuff that's, I'll say, let's say from the Silver Age, from my youth, and then they have these writers come in, and then they monkey around with, they change things around, and they try to, and it's never as good, and it screws with the canon. I'm such a dinosaur, and I want you to know in the chat to know to get off my lawn.
Exactly.
I think there's some clouds outside for you to yell at too.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm underneath the lemon tree. It's tree, but the Bleecker house is so fun. All right, Alan, make you big.
Right.
Rock them.
I'm gonna make myself big, and then I'll show a bunch of Torchies. So we'll start with
Sound them.
I'm sorry, we're done with Torchy. Sorry.
Dollman number 8. This is the first appearance of Torchy in comics.
Nice.
But that's not Torchy. That's Dollman. But she's inside.
Wow, Torchy, you've changed.
Yeah,
Did Bill Ward draw Torchy in her first appearance, Alan?
Yes, he did. And then we got Torchy number 1.
But that's not Bill Ward on that one.
It actually says, the weird thing is it says Bill Ward. It says, oh yes, it does say Gil Fox cover.
It is Gil Fox, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mike Munin.
Gil Fox. And we got Torchy number 2, which I showed before.
Right.
Then we go to Torchy number 3, the Just Married cover.
Nice.
The wife.
Well,
The bride looks a little bit mad.
Now look at that. Now here's the gold digger. She's a young gal that that's got this old codger with a whole bunch of money, and Torchy's better looking, and she's all bent out of shape because she's the one that put the hooks on him to get his money because she's too young for him. Look at that cover.
Yeah, exactly. But Torchy was always sort of like getting a lot of luck in life, but then always would end up broke and like back where she started at the very end of the comic every time.
Matt says that looks like the Monopoly Man.
Yeah, it does look like
very much so.
Yeah. And then we got the one
I
actually
really like Periscope cover. Yep.
The Periscope cover. I always like this one. This is actually my favorite in the run. So
I like the red one. The red one's my favorite. And then
you did a good job of the figure on that is good. It's pretty good.
And then we got the red one, another, well,
That
one of the
that's
red ones.
that's the 5.
That one's good
Number
too.
5. And this is Bill Ward, I believe.
It is Bill Ward. The last 2 are Bill Ward.
Yeah. And this is,
Epoch says he likes the Periscope cover as well.
yeah, the cover's cool, but this one's cool
Okay,
too.
cut Epoch off.
And then we got another Torchy.
That's my favorite one, right there.
That's your favorite, huh?
Yep, that's my favorite one, and that's a Bill Ward cover.
Is it you like the guy
Cool.
in the skirt? Is what's the
He's a firebug. Actually. he's a firebug. I know that you do like the kilt because you're Canadian. You know,
Yeah,
you're girly
I do
kilt.
have some Scottish ancestry, so
He likes the guy with the Mountie hat, the Boy Scout.
that's a Boy Scout.
See, it's the Mounties. You got the Mounties and the kilts. It's all Canadian. That's just right up your street.
There's
brother.
no Mounties with kilts, okay? Mounties don't wear kilts.
You're
Well,
inventing
and then we got-
something new.
They just don't show
And
it.
this
They
is
just
more
don't
what
show it.
Bill Ward really wanted to do with Torchy, and he made her Scorchy. This is the more adult version of Torchy. And you, can see
Yowza.
and you can always recognize Bill Ward by his signature at the bottom there. Yeah. So this was for Forbidden Fruit Comics.
Lyle says you can call them Kilty Cops.
Mm. There we go. So that's the complete Torchy collection.
Very nice. Very nice.
And issue number 1 is actually her first cover appearance. So
Very cool.
yeah.
And what's her last name, Alan?
Torchy. Oh wait. Now you got me on that one.
Torchy Todd.
Torchy Todd. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's me, Torchy McTorch-a-lot.
You want I should show some more books, or you want to
Yeah,
wait?
you can show some more if you want.
I do. I will.
You can show some
Great.
more. Please. Or did Bigby have anything you want to show?
The only thing I could show people like what we've been doing in our trade, but that's okay.
No, we got to keep that a secret.
Oh, is it a secret?
Until the deal is consummated.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
cool.
You gotta have a lot of
sounds a little
consomme.
bit more, more than what I
You
expected.
see the bruises on me, Steven? He's beating me up.
Yeah, I know. It's just there's a lot of crying and all that stuff too. I can't watch. It's like watching sausage being made. Okay, here's Venus number 5.
So doesn't Venus become a horror title
Yeah.
later on?
Yes, it does.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
starts out as a good girl. Alan was just talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah.
With his top 10.
That's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's a beauty. And this, I think it's Ken Bald again for sure, but it's not listed. But I got both of those two Venuses at the same time, which is really amazing, actually.
That's that's Marvel also, right? Venus.
Timely, yeah.
Timely. Yeah.
Timely. Yeah.
Timely.
And
Weird Adventures is it 18? Number 10, Ziff Davis from July, August of 1951. And it's a Marini cover.
That's cool.
It's a cool story inside too. Very good. Comic Book Plus has it. You can read the whole story.
Mhm.
But she comes, this gal in the green comes because the guy looks like the guy that jilted her. And then he ends up jilting her as well. And she's totally bent out of shape. And she's got all these powers and stuff. And it's all for naught. And the Doris Day looking gal ends up winning at the end.
Mm. That's my way of. That's my comment.
That's your thing, man. Here's a Fawcett book from November of 1941, just before Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Bald is very good. He's wonderful, and he was a stud too. He was a Marine in World War II. Great story on Ken Bald, and long-lived, and he saw a lot in his life. He really did, and lived a very, very long life. Amazing man, truly. This is Whiz Comics number 24. And at this point, we are not in the war, but the Brits are. And this old label is a VG Plus. It's a 4.5, has off-white pages. And this particular story is about the British having difficulty, and Captain Marvel is helping them against the Nazis and stuff. It's a great story. He gets blown up several times. Of course, nothing happens to him, but secret agents, and then there's a gal involved and all this other stuff. It's a really good story inside. But I love this. He's catching the bomb coming in, just like playing football. Signals 49-51.
Cormai has a question for you, Stephen. What's
Sure,
your high score? What's your high score on your pinball machine?
I have amazingly high scores on all of them. Whatever it is, I have the top scores on every one of them. I am a pinball player. I have pretty good hand-eye coordination in it. I've explained before. When I have company over, I very seldom will play. I'll just let them play. I'll show them the tricks, because if they'll play for, at the most, they'll play for a minute or two for a ball, and then if I play, I'm on it for like 35 minutes. And then they're all standing around looking at me. I mean, and then I basically just have to drop the ball.
I would love to watch you play sometime when I'm over there, because you offered last time, and then you were like, "Are you any good?" And I was like, "No," and you're like, maybe another time."
Well, the thing about it is it isn't polite as a host to basically do that. You want your guests to have a nice time. I don't like
to watch
that.
you play sometime.
But I have a friend who's a pinball player. He says, "I'd love to play pinball, but we're going to go to a neutral site, because I'm not going to." He says, "I'm not going to play your machines because you have the home court advantage, and I won't."
There you go.
Here is Witch's Tales #9 from Harvey Publications. Rudy Pillay, Joe Certa, Pinball Wizard. And it's really a fun cover.
Oh, that's nice.
And nice. I'll tell you, this thing this has got a brand new slab on it, and I can tell that they were brutal on the grading, because this is not a 4.0 by any stretch of the imagination. It's not. It just isn't. It's just the edges are nice. The colors are bright. It's a black cover, and it still doesn't show much. I just don't understand. There's that green witch up at the top with the flaming skull looking down. All those yellow faces that are all yelling and having a problem as she's being fed into the smoking dragon cauldron.
It's a crazy cover.
Isn't that wild? I've got another book coming that will be a lot of fun. And that's a feather in my cap, actually.
Did you get those? Archies that you won that night when I was there with you?
I did, and I posted them on Instagram. I have them.
I must have missed them.
Yeah, it's up.
No,
it's a reel. So I mean, I post them individually, and then I have a good song on it. I think I have. Actually, I think it's the Beach Boys. She's Real Fine, My 409.
Oh, there you go.
Here is, I think, the second cover of Al Cap's Wolf Gal. Alan has the first one. I think he might have the second one too.
I have both, yeah. Wolf
Gal Looks for Love.
Yeah, that's a really. I was amazed when you got it for the price you did.
Yeah, it slipped under the radar. I don't know if they used Overstreet Guide pricing or something, but it was not expensive. And the ad on the back, Toby Press did the book. It's from 1952, Al Cap story, cover, and art. And this is the last issue. There's only two. There's 1 and 2. But the back cover looks like it could come from the 1930s. I mean, this is looks like an ad that you cut your own hair at home, pays for itself. All these rings that you can get, jewelry, send no money, half price sale. Here's another book that I won in my competition with Judah Man. It was a very hard fought battle. Is World War III.
That's a really good
Alan
one.
Tears on that one.
No,
Alan didn't have a run at this one. This one I bought at where you know where.
So there was a copy of that in my video from Frankenstein. There was a copy of that on one of the
Tables.
One of the tables.
Do you remember how much it was going for?
It was only $30,
You have to
wasn't it?
go watch
Wasn't it,
the.
Brian? Brian, it was like
What's that?
$35. I think it was a 6.5 for $30, something like
Yeah,
that.
I imagine. Yeah.
No, I didn't. The price is in the video, but I didn't. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, Alan. You have to rewatch. Sorry.
Oh,
This is a company called Pix Parade, which is a bizarre name, but the title is just chock full of really cool books. As a matter of fact, I basically have put I put about a half a dozen of the other ones in this title, Youthful Love Romances. Pix Parade, and it's number 4, February, March of 1950. And Walter Johnson is the cover artist, and cover and art inside. He did Key Comics as well, is Walter Johnson. But here it is.
Yeah. That's the Canadian one.
I really like this cover.
Yeah, it's a good one.
She says, "A canoe is a perfect setting, darling, for a girl to hear a man whisper, 'I love you.'" He says, "Yeah, honey, you're sure right about that." Ha 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 ha. "I do love you, sweetheart, with all my heart." And look at his face.
I know he's like.
He looks a little.
Define heart. And the last one in the stack is Youthful Romances, number 5, by Ribbage Publishing Company. And this is a birthday book for me because it's from September of 1953. And I am from September of 1953. And it has Bob Correa art.
I like all the girls.
And all the girls in swimsuits want to touch the lifeguard. They're hanging on his every word. And Les Paul and Mary Ford are up there up above. I don't know why in this title they always have a picture of some stars, a photograph of some stars along with it, sitting on top of the world. And all these girls want to be with this guy. And I would say something, but again, I can't say anything. Because I can't. And thrilling confessions, but it's a great book. And the song that I put on my Instagram with this post was "Sleepwalk" by Santo and Johnny, and I like their version of it better. I like the steel guitar version of it better. It's just a better tune, but it's I try to find music that fits the era or the image, and sometimes it's more difficult than other times, but I thought that the Sleepwalk is pretty good because all the girls are sleepwalking to be with Hunk McGunk.
And he's like, girls, there's more than enough for me to go around.
There's plenty enough of me to go around. Damn sand gets into everything. Anyway, that's my box of books.
You know that ad that has the "Hey, quit kicking sand in my face"? That one.
Yes.
There was a Marvel parody where it was the how to become a Marvel hero. It was like, it was "Quit kicking Sandman in my face," and
oh, cute.
At the end, you mail away and you get a radioactive spider.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm going to have to find a Vampirella guitar for Alan because he's got the soil from Transylvania. He's got all the stuff, the necklace that has the actual soil Dracula's tomb. Yeah, he's got Vampirella underwear. Yeah, he's got all that stuff, and it's really quality stuff too.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I'm gonna actually wrap it up.
Okay.
Unless Bigby, do you want to show anything?
No, it's all good. I'm just here to help facilitate you fine gentlemen.
Okay, well, very nice. You helped a lot. You're managing the chat quite well. Thank you for that. I was doing a really bad job before you got here, so I appreciate that. So thanks everyone for hanging out and watching with us.
Thanks for putting up with our craziness. It's a lot of fun to have you in the chat. We very much appreciate having you here and your interaction with us and finding out stuff and sharing your information. It's wonderful. I learned a lot from you guys.
We learned a lot.
I really appreciate it very much. I do.
Can I promote one thing, Alan?
What?
Can I promote one thing?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, of course.
So on the live stream that I did with
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Definitely promote this. Yeah.
so on the live stream I did with Bronze Age Nerd, we got this piece at the Frankenstein Comic Swap, which again, if you want to see the video, I interviewed the artist, and at the end of the show, he said, "Hey, come on over. I want to give you something for as a thank you for promoting me." And he gave me this piece, and I took 2 steps, and I said, "You know what? We're gonna raffle this off to um,
Oh,
raise some funds for our friend Jen from Comic Books Will Break Your Heart. She's a YouTuber, and she's struggling with fighting cancer. And so she has a GoFundMe page. You can find the information about that on Bronze Age Nerds Instagram, or just Jen's channel on Instagram, which is Comic Books Will Break Your Heart. But if you do a $10 donation and let either myself or Bronze Age Nerd know, you're qualified to get into a raffle to get this piece of artwork signed by this wonderful artist. His name is Ray Johnson, Hardline Ray. And there you go.
How many tickets are you going to sell, Brian?
It's not a ticket thing. It's just like however many people want to donate. I think we've got
yeah.
maybe like a dozen people have donated so far. So,
So the
but
more
we're just
people
trying
that
to get some
donate,
more. Yeah, we're just
yeah.
trying to get some more attention. You can donate more than $10 if you want, but $10 minimum $10 gets you in to win the piece.
So,
That's a
and if
noble
anyone
thing to do.
watching wants more information, go over to Big B's channel and sub them up. And you did several videos about it as well, right?
I have a community tab
Yeah,
post
community
about
tab
it,
page.
and then it's also on my Instagram, and it's also on Bronze Age Nerds Instagram. So
That's right.
Very good.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned it on your show with Bronze Age Nerd last week, or
yes,
well,
yes,
just a few days ago, I should say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, on
Bless
Friday.
bless you, Jen. I pray God you're all right.
Yeah,
Is she,
if I somebody
you saw
donated, and
her in person. How is she doing?
they said give Jen my best, and tell her my thoughts and prayers are with her on a speedy recovery. And okay, I will do that, Lyle. I'll get to you on Instagram here in a little bit. And So I just screenshotted that chat thing and sent it to Jen, and she had this whole thing with like all these hearts and said, "Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet." And tell him. So I screenshotted that and sent it back to the guy who donated.
That's really nice.
I can't. The cancer has touched my family extensively,
Hmm.
uh, and it's a sore soft spot for me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very
So it's
very painful
a
spot.
difficult thing for anybody to go through and
Hmm.
to have
Watching
to
your loved ones,
deal
watching
with. Yeah,
parents and my sister and parents and grandparents, and
Yeah.
it's just so god awful.
Hmm.
yeah. I
And
had a best friend who
but on a
passed
much
away.
lighter note, I hope that people will cough in. I will cough in,
Hmm.
and I will just give me a link, and I'll shoot some. Do you do a PayPal thing, or how do we do it?
It's a
It's a
GoFundMe. So
GoFundMe.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, Stephen.
Okay, and what do you do then? Do you use PayPal into it then, or what?
Yeah, on GoFundMe, it'll let you use your PayPal or any other form to
All
make a
right, I'm
payment.
in.
Yeah.
I'm
Matt,
in.
our healthcare sucks. Okay, don't say that. I am living proof that our healthcare sucks. Yeah, but
It's so awful. But
Yeah,
anyway,
she's a sweetheart. She's a really nice lady. So
well, fair enough.
yeah, she
I would.
seemed really nice. Like I saw, in your other video where you showed the
the Frankenstein swap
FrankenCon.
meet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was there, and she was just so, yeah. I mean, she's going through all that, and we're all like, well, everybody's asking us how you are. Is it okay if we do like a little short? And I'm just like made it really short. I was just like, hey, everybody wants to say hi to you, and she's like, hi, and I was like, hi guys. I didn't
Yeah,
want to
really
take
short.
up
Yeah.
too much of her time or anything. So
Okay, I'll send you 50.
All right. Oh, very
I'll,
nice.
yeah, I'll get you the link.
Okay,
Cool.
fair
He should get 5 raffle tickets because
I don't know if he works that way. You have to ask Bronze. I don't know.
Okay.
enough. That's all right. I'd like to help. All
All
right,
right.
guys.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Unless you're
everybody. Thanks for watching.